another quote that I found in Distributor Talk Game, which talks about communication and how the industry has evolved over the years, especially in taking orders. The advent of email has not only made that you're going to get instantaneous orders and codes, but the chances of being decentralized has potential to leading into confusion. So you would have orders going to too many emails, and there's a scope for confusion, and there's a scope for misplacing the order. So I would suggest you have a single email ID to capture your orders and samples and artwork, so that you have it in one single place and where you could easily access and get whatever information you need. So now, I'm going to give you some tips. Pretty sure some have already implemented a few of these. Ask about how you can utilize technology to to ease any communication issues that you might have. The key thing here is that communications issues, they arise because distributors, because there's lack of information. Distributors are constantly in search of some sort of information, be it about your products, product lines, or product pricing, supplier specials, artwork requirements. It could be anything. So they're constantly in search of something or the other, and as if they do not get the desired search results, there is a scope for miscommunication, and that could potentially blow up the whole relationship. So the first step that you need to take is to bring the distributor partners to your website to check for products and pricing. In that way, what you have to do is you would have to make your website current and up to date, so that it reflects the best pricing that you offer, and the most current pricing that you offer, and the most current product lines and supplier specials. So the goal is to bring these distributor partners to your website and making sure that they check before they commit the price to their clients. Provide ample information on artwork requirements and shipping details. Again, I talked about how artwork and imprint techniques are two areas where you obviously have sufficient knowledge that the distributor might lack. So you would want to be proactive in making sure that your website is pretty well equipped with the latest artwork requirements that you have and your sample policies, so that the idea again is to have the distributors go to your website to check for whatever queries or questions that they might have about your products. Create case histories for products. So many times distributors are searching for some sort of an idea for them to go and then propose a solution to their clients. So it's only beneficial if you have case histories built for your product, so that you could have it by vertical, that your product was serviced, was used, or you could have it on a case by case. The goal is to have a sufficient case library for the product, so that whenever a distributor visits your site, he's not just there looking for products and pricing, which you obviously provide, but you're also feeding him ideas as to how you can communicate with his clients and making sure that the solution works for his client, while at the same time he's utilizing your product as part of the solution mix. But it's easier said than done, as I understand that many distributors are reluctant to give out critical information product was used. But you would have to be persistent, making sure that you get all the knowledge that you need in order to go ahead and then making sure you create those pages. Conduct webinars for your distributors on how to sell your product to a targeted industry. As I showed you in a couple of slides back on the trends that PPB Magazine published, webinars have gained popularity over the course of time. So you would want to be a subject matter expert to your distributor partners when you conduct a webinar, because you manufacture the product and you would know, and if you have some case histories on these products, then you would obviously have sufficient knowledge as to how your products are beneficial in a particular sector, and you could go ahead and then you could conduct webinars. For example, you could conduct about your distributor partners to enter, let's say, the education vertical or the finance vertical. And in that way, you provide sales tips for them and provide them ideas as to how they can approach a new market that they could mine and cultivate accounts. And obviously, it strengthens your relationship that you build with your distributor partners. The last point in this slide, technology provides access to past end-user requests to your distributor partners. Obviously, it's a huge improvement in the trust if you can have access to end-user requests and pass it along to your distributor partners. In that way, it emboldens the trust that the distributor is going to have with you, and it obviously is going to only improve the relationship in a positive manner. Obviously, Pam's going to focus a little bit on this a little later in the webinar. There are other website improvements that you could also do. Again, I want to stress the point as to how you want to have up-to-date products, pricing, and artwork guidelines in your website. Having said that, there are a host of service providers who have a huge product database that has your products that distributors would have access to, so they could go anytime they want and then access your products and pricing and in various different service providers. So chances of a mistake are pretty high because you're dealing with external service providers and software vendors that you would not have communication with. So you would have to make sure that at least you look at ESP, Distributor Central, and Sage, these three primary service providers in the industry, and making sure that whatever information that you have in your website, those are communicated clearly in those websites. Populate these websites with the current pricing and specials that you run, because these are some of the most frequently visited websites. Having said that, there's an interesting scenario that happened with Aprons, etc. Some time back. Aprons, etc. They have a pretty strong relationship with one of the premier distributor partners. So whenever a client or an end user goes and visits these distributor partners' websites and searches for products that are associated with Aprons, etc., those products came up on top of the search. In that way, it gave Aprons, etc., the product visibility because of the relationship that they had with the distributor partner. However, recently that particular distributor partner, he moved to a different service provider, and that service provider did not offer Aprons' products as part of their product database. So Pam, she was proactive enough and checked these distributor partners' websites that Aprons has relationship with, and found out that Aprons' products did not come up in those searches. So she raised an issue, and she is able to communicate that to the distributor partner and resolve the issue pretty quickly. So if you have any existing relationships with big distributor houses that have numerous franchisees and multiple distributors who have individual company stores, it's probably beneficial for you to do those occasional searches in their websites and making sure that your products come up. Because sometimes, even though in this example the distributor was at fault in not communicating their move to the new service provider, not checking with the service provider about Aprons' product, it's also it's beneficial for you to go ahead and do these periodic searches in different distributor partners' websites. Then guest articles on several imprint techniques, product-related focus, and other industry-related issues, and be a subject matter expert to your distributors. This is a very, very interesting area where you could gain a lot of exposure, and at the same time, you're going to be viewed as a leader in the industry if you can achieve that. For example, at Solve IT, when we launched Custom View, and when we targeted the promotional products industry, what we did was we went and wrote technology-related articles, incorporated